biochemistry. So just to let you know, she's also a very, not just a fit body, but a fit mind. She follows fitness regime since the age of 16. Wow. Holds a record for being the oldest woman to do Sandakphu trek. She ran a marathon barefooted in a sari in late 70s. Oh my God. So she's going to be performing. She's going to be there for us. So please do not miss out on her. And today we are going to be dealing with beliefs. What's the difference of belief, a core belief? What does belief really mean? I've often broken it down in a very different way, and we'll come to that in next 2 minutes. Let's look at the objectives. The objectives of today's session is to understand where and what are the core beliefs that we have. I mean, I'm not talking about mine. I'm talking about each one of you will have a different set of beliefs which are navigating your life, which are making you propel into a certain direction. It would be fascinating to see how you can create awareness around it and how you have not just created beliefs around you, but around your fellow people that you interact with, around the world as a whole. And how do we deal with these beliefs? I mean, is it just enough to say, oh, I have a belief now, and oh, I'm stuck with this, and probably I'm stuck with this ideology for God knows how many years? There has to be a way to get out of these beliefs. So I've written the word limiting, and I love the way they say limiting beliefs. We as human beings can never be without a belief. So for us to identify what is limiting us becomes our limiting belief. And what is pushing us to move ahead will become our empowering belief. So we have both kind of beliefs, guys. But what is the belief? So can we put it down in the chat? What do you think is a belief? What do you think is a belief, and what's going on there? So just put down in the chat. I have new updates for you. We have started 30-minute classes for quick learning. We are covering fitness, wellness, chai pe charcha. Chai is tea, and charcha means talk on the tea when we're having sipping on our tea. Classes will be running at 7:30 a.m. in the morning, 5:30, 6:30 p.m. in the evening, and 10:30 p.m. at night. So we're practically with you for the whole day with these 30-minute classes. Join these classes for health benefit and learning. Okay, I'm going to just stop this for a minute and then come back. Okay, guys. So what do you think is a belief? Namaste, Sunita. Namaste, Bhavna, Sheraz, Reema, Anjana, Johnson.
Namaskar.
Sneha, it's very nice.
Hello.
Johnson, yeah. Okay.
Hello, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm doing well. Thank you so much. I love to see my friends here. Okay. So what is a belief, guys? Belief, Terry says, is... Okay. Terry says belief is a thought that one has in their core. Okay. Karuna says a conviction, a faith about something exists. Okay. Anybody else? What's a belief? Belief, guys. Belief. What's a belief? Okay, so let's go, and I'm going to break this word down for you. And I'm going to read the messages just in a minute. I love English language. Is that the right spelling?
Yes.
You know why? Because I've always not looked at the spelling, and that became a story for me where I could see words in a different way. So can we break this word down? B means L-I-E. Okay, so this is how I look at belief, guys. The lies that we tell ourselves. There's no evidence of it existing outside. The lies that we tell ourselves when we are fighting or flighting. What is fight or flight? Anybody who knows what's fight or flight? Hey, such a quietness over there. So just imagine for a minute. Yes, somebody speaking.
Yes, I was saying that flight and fright is a reaction of a parasympathetic nervous. Sorry, I think sympathetic nervous system, or one of the two.
Okay,
I'm
who's
confused.
speaking?
Shiraz.
Shiraz. Arey, wonderful. I love that, Shiraz. Could you repeat that again, please? That's splendid. It's sympathetic.
Yeah, sympathetic.
Okay, so you can say it again.
It's a reaction of our sympathetic nervous system. When we're either too scared, so either we freeze, or we run away, or we fight. So
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Fight,
Shiraz.
flight, or
I
freeze.
love you for this. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm going to bring up a situation for all of you. And before I get that situation up, I'm going to ask you, imagine for a minute. Just close your eyes. Sorry, I'm not going to ask you to imagine the best possible place. I'm going to ask you to imagine one place in your life where you felt no matter what happened, you couldn't fight back. No matter what happened, no matter what was going on, you just couldn't fight back. You know what's funny? You couldn't even run away from the danger. One situation where you couldn't fight back, where you couldn't run away from the situation. Okay, anybody wants to tell me what it is? Anybody who's got this memory and would like to share? One memory where आप भागना चाहो तो भी भाग नहीं सकते. You couldn't run.
I'll go, Anu.
Yes, Karuna. Thank you.
So, as a child, whenever I wanted to do what I wanted to do but was not allowed and was being punished for doing it irrespective of being told not to do, was the situation where this was in my experience, that I could not run away from that very strong punishment, physical punishments.
Just stay
I
there,
did not
Karuna,
want those
and I
punishments.
really am grateful for you sharing that. How old were you as a child?
So it has been throughout my childhood. So
That was the earliest
as
memory?
early as when I was in second standard. So somewhere around 6 years, 5-6 years is what I remember as the earliest one.
Thank you so much. And most of us remember 6 years of age because that's where the subconscious and the conscious mind starts changing. Now, it's very interesting, and here it. Karuna, as a child, wanted to do certain things, and she was punished. And when your parents are punishing you, can you run away from them?
No.
Can you fight them back and say to them, how dare you, mom, talk to me like?
No.
And can you tell me, Karuna, why? Why can't we tell them anything, and why can't we run away?
I am too small to do that. I'm scared. I don't know how to do that. On top of that,
First belief that Karuna has made. I am too small to fight for myself. I am too small to run away. Because my parents are my authority. And the biggest one that we all have is, how will I survive? I'll die without my parents. If I run away, run to what? Now I want you to pause, all of you, and see if this still goes on in your adult life. I just want you to know we're not 6 anymore.
But ma'am, isn't that a fact or is it a belief? That I
Thank you, Aparna. Thank you, Anjana. No, it's a belief. It's a belief. Let's look at it. Okay. If there was an animal, your animal, which is not domesticated, you domesticated your animal and told him to do certain things. Yes, Anjana? You showed him what's right. You showed him what's wrong.
Yes.
Out in the wild, nobody teaches anybody what's right and wrong. It's only survival of the fittest. And if somebody was having a go at that animal was sure to run away. And the animal was sure to fight back, even if it was the weakest animal on this planet Earth. Take an ant, go try touching it and see how she goes behind. But we human beings have been taught that's disrespect. We've been taught at a very early age, you can stand against everyone, but do not dare to stand against the authority. So it becomes a fact of our life. And that's how our mother did, and our father did, and that's how their parents did, and that's how it just goes down, dripping in the generation.
So by the subtle fact that we are asked to respect and obey our elders.
Sorry. Yes,
no,
go ahead.
Through the practice of informing us that we should respect our elders and obey them, this is being instilled in us without our knowledge, this belief system.
Anjana, it could be a number of things happening. Everybody would have a different belief. The same situation, 15 people standing, they would have a different impression. And how does it happen? A brilliant question. In 1 second, I'm not talking about a minute, in 1 second, we have 40,000 bytes of information thrown at us. Imagine if wherever you're sitting, in 1 second and the roof opens up from the top and 40,000 chocolates fall down. And in that 1 second, you're supposed to pick up as many chocolates as you can. And how many chocolates do you think you could pick up in 1 second? 3, 4, 10, 15. It's 1 second. Out of 40,000 bytes of information, we are picking up 8 or 9 pieces, which is the upper limit. And that becomes our reality. And that is why this is the lies that we tell to ourselves. And we and our lives are nothing but our beliefs. Karuna will never go against the authority, and she will continue to believe that she is small. Her words were, I am too small. She did not say, I'm not resourced. She said, I am too small. And how will she live her life then? Let's ask her, rather than making an assumption. So Karuna, how do you live your life till now? Do you still have this, that you're too small?
For a very long time, I did have. And so much so that even if the person is, let's say, my age itself, but just because they hold an authority, I wouldn't question them back, even if I had a valid question. And I just stayed with whatever was being told for a very, very long time, like almost 30 years of my life. So yes.
Thank you
it
so
was
much.
there before I began working.
I'm in huge gratitude to you, Karuna, because when we are honest, we realize that something that stayed back as a child stays back with us forever. Let's pick up one more example if anybody is ready to share what they thought in that, a few seconds that we were talking about. Go back to one memory. Let's do it again. Go back to one memory. In your childhood, maybe.
I can share one.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can we?
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much. And yes. Okay.
So
Okay.
I remember this incident.
You're muted.
Primary school, Agra Cantonment station there. And there was a cycle rickshaw wala who used to come and pick us up from the house to the school every day. So I was the first one to be picked. And I would sit in the front. The rickshaw, I don't know if everyone can picture the scene. Okay, so the cycle rickshaw, the old cycle rickshaws, they have a seat in the front, and there was a small seat just before that, and there's something that you can hang at the back. Okay, the circular one, right?
Yes.
So I was the first one, and my mom would seat me and my brother on the seat, and then we would go. On the way, there were many others being picked up. But there was one lady who was also being picked up, and she happened to be the teacher, my Hindi teacher, to be precise. And the moment she got in, she would show certain, I still remember those eyes and some kind of emotion, anger, whatever, and asked me to go back and hang behind.
Okay.
And there in the north, we had two uniforms. One was for the winter and one for the summer. In the winters, we have a long pant, and in the summers, we had a short pant. And I still remember hanging behind one of those days, and my pant got stuck in the wheel behind, and I hurt myself, and everyone just laughed at it.
Okay. So if you could just pause there.
Now, yeah, again, many years later in Mumbai, when I was working, my boss, I have also been boss for some time, but before that, I had bosses. In the boardroom, insulted me, kept me, through all kinds of expletives and, kind of literally, because the reason was he was not sure of the knowledge that I had. Okay, so he was not that knowledgeable, but he didn't want to show that. Okay, I had to just keep my mouth shut, hung myself, my head hung, and kept quiet. And I just went out and cried. Because I remembered that authority figure, like you said, and the same authority figure, I transplanted that authority figure onto this man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Johnson. And stay there 1 minute. And you said something very interesting. And I was picking up the words that you were saying. Someone insulted me is what you made a belief. And the one who insulted you wasn't equipped enough, wasn't educated enough, wasn't really the one that they were posing out to be. And they hung you by your head, and the children were laughing at you. So when you are hung like that, the world stands and laughs at you rather than aiding you.
True.
And you felt more insulted because none of them were equipped enough to say anything to you. You could understand the teacher, but none of them were. So can you understand from here? You will form series of beliefs. And if you can just dig into it and be reflective right now, and you can look at other than this. Okay, I got hurt. I was humiliated. Okay, people are laughing at me. What's one decision you as a child made there? What's that one decision that you made on that day behind that where you were hanging, where your trouser was getting stuck and you were getting hurt, but you wouldn't open your mouth? What's one decision that child made on that day that's taken you through your life till now?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Can
you.
talk about it? Can you say that? What was the decision you could have made at that point? At this
Well,
point?
today, if I were to go back in that situation, I could open up my mouth and tell, ma'am, sorry, I sat here first, and I have all the right to be sitting there, and and I'm not comfortable going back.
So you know what he's saying? I have never opened my mouth.
Yes.
And I've never told people that this is what is rightfully mine. And I need to sit here first because I came here first and you came later. He has never done that in his entire life. And you know what happens? His life changes the day he opens his mouth with a smile on his face
Yes.
and says, you know what? I came first and I deserve it. And I don't give a damn who you are, but I will not hang there for anyone. Thank you so much, Johnson. I really appreciate, really appreciate. So what are we getting at here, guys? What are you understanding? What are your feedbacks that are coming over here? Do you understand that something that happened in our childhood? Something where you were stuck, and I want you to now get it. Wherever you got stuck, you got stuck. It's a place where you couldn't move. You got stuck. And this was a place where you did not feel safe. This was the place where you felt, oh my God, my world has come to an end. You were very little when you made these decisions, which became a navigating factor to you for you to lead your life. And you couldn't see life any other way. And things were not so big. If somebody was to sit down and give you a cognitive story and say, why can't you talk? Why can't you go and sit? Why can't you tell your authority? Well, the answers go back to the first 6 years where you were not allowed to. So very quickly, look at your situation, put down what are the beliefs that you created on your paper. We had two very courageous people, Karuna and Johnson, who came up and spoke about their very authentically, very from the heart. Write it down and ask yourself, how did you live your life because you made a decision on that day? Decision to be quiet, decision. First of all, you made someone an authority. You made someone an authority. And then you decided that if I couldn't do what I did in past, then that's my limitation and I may never be able to do it. These people, shut your mouth forever. I'm not asking you to go against anyone. I'm not asking you to be loud. I'm not asking you to insult anyone. But to lose an expression is losing life. जानम समझा करो, समझे क्या? मतलब कुछ हुआ था, something happened. And we held it in our psyche forever. And we refused to become big. We're still hanging. So I'll give you my experience. When I was touched at the age of 6 years of age, and it's not touched, I was sexually touched by a man who was old enough to be my grandfather. I couldn't talk and express myself for years, telling anyone that something like that had happened. It put me in a place of deep silence. I was a very talkative child, but it put me in a place of deep silence. I would say everything, but not what needs to be said. And even today, I've noticed that if somebody asks me, how much time will this take? I will go and give you a roundabout answer, but I will not tell you to take 30 minutes. And I noticed this yesterday. So there are layers on layers. You may spend years cleaning that up. And what if there is no awareness? You will never clean it up. And then you will ask your next generation, why is your child behaving weird? Your child is behaving weird because they've taken your soch, your thought patterns, and your trauma, and they're carrying the burden of your trauma in their story. Don't ask your children, why can't you ask for money? Because they were probably never given an authority before this to handle money. There is so much that when we ask our children, why are you doing this? We need to ask ourselves, when did we go through this? And why did we go through it? Okay, so the topic is becoming very serious. Let me take you through slides and let's understand. We don't just stop at ourselves. So Karuna and Johnson are the two people who came out, and I'm sure others will join me too and let me know about their stories. But you need to now reflect. The decision Karuna made for herself is that she is too small. The decision that Johnson made back in time is, every time authority tells me, I will have to go and hang behind and get hurt. And that's humiliation. These are decisions. Decisions are bigger than beliefs, like a collective story that we create. Now, what is a belief that they created towards the person, towards mom? If I am small, then mom is Karuna, then mom is
Big.
And what does that do for mom? Mom will always be big now. Mom is anyway big. And what else?
I cannot question her. I have to I have to follow whatever she says. No, like hands down.
You hear her words, hands down. And these words have a very big meaning in our life. Please understand, hands down is almost like a person, a soldier who's standing with a gun like this and says, hands down, you are made defenseless. So what she's saying very beautifully is, the minute somebody will come and stand in front of me, who feels big to me, I will decide, because we generalize, I will decide, I will not say anything. I will keep. And what will happen to that person? That person doesn't even know she's made this decision. And I can't ask them. Yes, Karuna, would you like to add something?
Yes, that's true, because when I discussed this thing after a lot of time with my mother, she was surprised that I felt like that, because that was not in her mind or in her reality or in her awareness.
Thank you. And that wasn't her mother's reality. Okay. Her mother was just shouting at her, because this is how we are taught to discipline our children. It had got nothing to be about she becoming big. I mean, it's understood she's bigger than Karuna. She gave life to Karuna. But our mind calculates. From where Karuna is standing, she's small, and mom is big. And if mom is big, we can't tell mom anything. We have to hear her out. And whatever she tells us to do, we don't have a choice but to do this. And do you know how many women have carried this for their husbands? And how many men have carried this for their wives? Endless. Relationships are going down because of the past experience, where whether it's a man, slowly it doesn't matter, whoever is looking bigger than you, whoever can speak louder than you, we made these decisions. We made them the villain forever, ever, and ever. Thank you. So we made decisions about ourselves. We made decisions about people who were wronging us. The decision I made about the man who abused me was, I will expose him. Well, he died before I could expose him. And I'm laughing because that was such a stupid thing. Sorry, it's not stupid. It was such a childish thing because that was coming from a child of 6-year-old. What really happens is our wounds become our biggest medals. And you always find a way out. Now, third category is we are making decisions around the world. Johnson, would you like to share what kind of decision you made around maybe authority, maybe the rickshawala, maybe about, the world, anything that you could share with us? Thank you.
Okay. Unfortunately, yes, the lessons that I learned from the corporate life was, yes, I should stand up and I should speak when you are treated like a doormat. But it was a little too late for me because by then it had already caught my health. The stress levels had gone up. The slip disc started forming, and I know that slip disc has a connection with stress. All these things I kind of discovered much later, when I left all of those and starting a new as a freelancer. Be my own boss kind of stuff.
Okay, let's break up the slip disc for you. The backbone. The teacher should have been your
Backbone.
Thank you. Your authority should have been your
Backbone.
not hung you.
Right.
You die. And when you were hanging, it was your backbone that was holding you.
Yeah.
And it slipped, just like your trousers slipped. Thank you so much. So you felt if you hadn't slipped, you probably would have just looked at it as an adventure ride. But because your trousers slipped and you got hurt because it kind of got wound in something,
Yeah.
and it was pulled down, it
Yeah.
didn't really slip. So right now, before you got slip disc, you have to think, what did you get wound in that pulled you down? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate. Okay, so anybody else who would like to play? One more person who would like to tell their story. Because your stories make this platform come alive. Just if I'm sitting myself and talking, it has no meaning. कुछ है जो शेयर करना चाहते हो? सुनीता, रिनी, निर्मल जी, कुछ तो हुआ है, कुछ हो रहा है. चलिए फटाफट. अच्छा, ऐसे पॉजिटिव बिलीव्स भी देख सकते हैं हम लोग. कैसे देखेंगे पॉजिटिव बिलीव्स? अगर नेगेटिव हुए हैं तो पॉजिटिव भी तो हुए हैं. We've also had positive stories happening in our life. So go back to one memory in your childhood that's extremely positive. Like so positive that if it happened again, you could live 100 lives again. One positive thing that's happened in your life. Shiraz सोच रहे हैं. Anjana is putting her head down. देखिए, sadness ढूंढनी कितनी आसान है ना? Our mind holds the negative.
Yeah, ma'am. No. I did get. I was just writing down what you were telling me.
Okay, so tell me, what's a
Oh.
positive memory?
The most beautiful memory I have is as a child going out to the beach and making friends with the people there and collecting shells, sharing with them. It was one of the most beautiful days in my life.
Okay, Anjana, how old are you there?
Maybe 5, 6.
5, 6, right? Okay, I want you to close your eyes. Go back to being 5 or 6. Who are the people you are with?
My family.
What does it mean when your family is there with you at age of 5 or 6 on the beach?
The most beautiful thing that I could wish for. Togetherness, being loved, having fun.
Very nice. Hold that memory. Hold it. Make it solid. How are your feet feeling on the sand?
Lovely.
What's happening to your feet? What's the sensation they remember?
At the water washing my feet, the sand, the cold sand, building castles.
Very good. What's the smell around? Pick up the smells. Good at it. Pick up the smells.
The invigorating smell of salt in the air.
Wow. What are you hearing? What are the sounds you're hearing? Sounds of safety. What are the sounds that you're hearing?
Sound of the sea, then laughter, happiness.
Yes. And what's the language? Language of laughter.
Yes. I was wondering which language. Joy.
Language of salt.
Sunshine.
Sunshine. Very good. And what's little Anjana? What has she decided now? What is her decision in life? When she has a family, she has...
Share everything.
Very good. Hold that in your heart. She's looking, and that's a decision she's made for herself? Or is that she's seeing someone share?
Oh. No. I share.
You share with whom and what?
Well, anybody, everybody.
Okay. You're sharing with everyone. And what are you sharing with everyone?
Happiness. Understanding.
Wow.
And along the way, you are taken for granted also.
Okay. And how did you get that you're taken for granted? What's happened there?
Oh, because I was too busy giving. I did not know how to fill myself. Only if you're full, you can fill others. So somewhere along the way, I knew that I have to take care of myself first. Others come later.
And how old are you there?
Oh, I was around 23, 24.
Okay, go back in memory lane. Go back, further back till you come to 5 or 6 years of age where you've seen someone giving selflessly. Who is giving selflessly?
My dad.
Thank you. Who are you aping?
My father.
And was he taken for granted?
Yes.
And that's where you created, when people give, they're taken for granted. Okay, Anjana, I just want you to get up from your trance and I want you to think, there are people who give and are taken for granted, and people who don't give are taken for granted. There are people who are good who are taken for granted, and there are people who are really filthy and they're taken for granted. There are people who are mean who are taken for granted, and there are people who are like saints who are taken for granted. It's got nothing to do with
me as a person.
Yes. Okay. Just look at this story that you created in your head. There is a tinge of love mixed with the bitterness of someone taking away. So you will never ever, can you pick up? What have you created there? Can you pick up?
Never ever love again, wholeheartedly.
Thank you so much, Anjana. Open your heart and fall in love again.
I'm trying to do that.
No, either you will do it.
No, I am doing it.
Okay, let's try. Let's try this. Okay, your dog is always perceptive towards you. He's saying, "Open up your heart." He's screaming at you. If I was to give you this, let's try catching it. Try catching this. Try. And even if I dropped it, it won't go in your hand. But if I said, you have to catch this, you will do things differently.
I am doing it.
Thank you.
I'm not trying. I am doing it. Started to.
प्यार में कभी कभी ऐसा भी होता है, छोटी सी बात का फसाना बन जाता है ना? And then we lose ourselves.
Yes.
कितने साल we put ourselves in a jail. a jail.
Far too many years for my liking. But I'm glad I woke up. That's what matters now.
Can we stop punishing ourselves?
Yes, 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 definitely.
क्या बदल जाएगा?
My life.
कैसे? क्या होगा आपकी लाइफ में अगर आप जिंदा रह के अच्छे से जी सको?
Oh, I can see what I'm capable of. Explore new avenues, express myself, be myself, enjoy.
हाँ, ना पूरी
Take
तरह
care
से
of
प्यार
myself.
कर पाए, ना पूरी तरह से लुट पाए.
True.
अगर किसी ने आपकी चोरी करनी थी तो रख देते, बोलते ले जा सारा.
Correct, very true. The regret, the frustration, yes. All that is giving way.
When we think we are capable of controlling everything in this world, we don't see the world as it is.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank
You
you
have
so
been
much,
helping me.
Asina. Thank you so much. I often try to pick up very difficult topics, and I hope it wasn't that difficult for you to look at it. I could have.
Actually, it was in the beginning. I just didn't know how to do it, but you got me there. Thank you.
Thank you. The question that you need to answer for yourself is, what are you ready to let go today? ऐसी क्या चीज है that you're able to say, बस साला, बहुत हो गया, खूब कर लेता हैगा, बस इस तो ज्यादा नहीं. I'm going to put a full stop to this. मैंने थंबा लगा दिया. क्या ऐसा आप कर सकते हैं? क्या आपको गिव अप करना पड़ेगा? बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है. क्या इकट्ठा करना पड़ेगा? नहीं. What we will have to collect? No. What is it that we will have to give up from our behavior? What is it for which we will have to open our heart? दिल खोलना आसान नहीं है. We stopped loving. We stopped loving. When we stop loving, we're cheating ourselves. You are the creation of God. You are allowed to feel happy. You're allowed to be your own authority. You are allowed. Bigness does not come from being an authority. You're allowed to live your life. And yet, we are scared to do it. जो डर गया सो मर गया. सोच लो, सोच ले, आंखों में आंखें डाल सीख ले. जीवन के दिन है 4, याद रख. मरना है एक बार, मरने से पहले जीना सीख ले, याद रख. चलिए बताइए, क्या गिव अप करना पड़ेगा? सुनीता, बहुत चुप चुप हो आज. बोलो बोलो, कुछ तो बोलो. रिनी, क्या गिव अप करना पड़ेगा?
डर.
जी, छोड़ो कल की बातें, कल की बात पुरानी, नए दौर से लिख देंगे हम ये नई कहानी. क्यों? Because you deserve it. You deserve everything that brings you happiness in this world. आपको पता है हमें खुशी क्यों नहीं मिलती? क्योंकि हम कहीं सोचते हैं कि we don't deserve it. I often ask people, do you love me? 4 दिन पहले भी मैंने मेरे टीचर से ये सवाल पूछा, शायद उसे शॉक कर दिया. That wasn't an adult 54-year-old in front of him. That was a 6-year-old child asking his mom, do you really love me? जो जगहें खाली रह जाती हैं, जहां पे दिए नहीं जलते अंधेरे रह जाते हैं, वो जगहें हमेशा अंधेरों में रह जाती है। कोशिश ये है कि आप वहां चिराग जलाएंगे, उस जगह को देखेंगे, और जैसे ही आपने चिराग जलाया वहां रोशनी अपने आप ही हो गई। कुछ और करने की जरूरत है क्या? और कुछ चीजें तो अंधेरे में, कुछ खजाने मट्टी के नीचे कितने सालों से, कितनी सदियों से मट्टी के ढेर के नीचे पड़े हैं। आपके पेरेंट्स की ख्वाहिशें, आपकी ख्वाहिशें। आपको पता है किसी को गुस्सा क्यों आता है? किसी को गुस्सा क्यों आता है?
जब कोई चीज पूरी ना हो किसी की तो गुस्सा आता है।
शाबाश रिनी। और जब उसे ये ना पता हो कि उसे पूरा करना कैसे है। हमें गुस्सा तब नहीं आता जब हम खुश होते हैं। कोशिश करके देख लो, स्माइल रखो अपनी शक्ल पे और गुस्सा करके दिखाओ। चलो ट्राई करते हैं यार। हंसी हंसी होती है, और ऐसे करो, सड़ू शक्ल बनाओ और आप खुशी दे बांटो जरा। हम वो चूसे हुए आम हैं जो ऐसे घूमते हैं। Oh, I'm so happy. सॉरी यार, चूसे हुए आम की तरह लग रहे हो। So your authenticity doesn't just come from what you say. अगर प्यार करना है ना तो दिल को अंदर, not outside on the plate. My father said one thing to me, काम दिल लगा के करना। गलत था। गाना फिर ये याद आया, हम दिल दे चुके सनम। दिल देना नहीं है, दिल लगाना है। It doesn't mean you fall in love only. आज थोड़ा सा उसमें चेंज कर देते हैं। Today is my father's death anniversary. तो डैड को मैं ये कहना चाहूंगी, deep gratitude to you dad. Today I changed the biggest belief of my life. आज के बाद मैं अपने आप पे दिल लगाऊंगी। इतना प्यार मिलेगा अनु मेहता को, इतना प्यार देगी अनु मेहता अपने आप को, इतना प्यार देगी कि लोग खड़े होके बोलेंगे और मेरी अंदर की रूह बोलेगी, आज जिए हैं हम, इससे पहले जीना आता ही नहीं था। सिर्फ काम मेरी, only my work cannot be my identity. हम अक्सर हमारी आइडेंटिटी अपना काम बना लेते हैं। आपकी आइडेंटिटी आपके साथ लास्ट डे तक रहनी चाहिए। So decide who you are. And I have decided that I have my entire generation standing behind me. उनके पास चॉइस ही नहीं है। सारे दिल लगाने वाले थे ना, तो बोल रही हूँ आज पीछे खड़े होके मुझे, मेरे ऊपर ही दिल लगा दो। Have I learned it all? Not really. So for the next 5 minutes, we're just going to give love to ourselves. So close your eyes, relax. Go back to the times that you saw yourself not happy as a child. I have no idea how you felt there, but you know exactly how you felt there. I don't know what's the color of love for you. So get from your subconscious level whatever is the color of love. Imagine you're throwing that color of love over yourself, the little you. And that color of love is going inside your body and outside your body, covering you up. And as this color goes inside your body and outside your body. You can hear sound of love. You can smell love. You can taste love. You can tell yourself, I am lovable. I can give myself permission to love me, dil se. I can give myself permission to love me, dil se. No matter what happens, this color of love can take away all the stains, all that we have felt about ourselves. All the negative thoughts are now getting drenched in this love. Smell of love, touch of love, feeling of love. Hold your hands out and receive. Receive. Allow yourself to receive. Receive. And only when you feel you've received enough to quench your soul, bring all that back into this room. Slowly opening your eyes and bringing all that love back into the room. Filling your heart with all that love. Slowly coming back into the room. Okay, we have last 5 minutes. Time is always ticking. How are you feeling, guys? कैसे हो?
Feeling light.
Light.
Good.
अच्छे हैं.
अच्छे हैं. सवाल भी आप ही हो, जवाब भी खुद ही हो. ढूंढते हो इस सवाल और जवाब को बाहर, कहीं नहीं है. Everything is inside you. Okay, so let's go to the last slides. देखिए, शुरू से मैंने सोचा था इतनी सुंदर स्लाइड्स बनाई थी आप लोगों के लिए. या तो मैं स्लाइड्स देख सकती हूँ या आपकी शक्लें. Okay, so today we understood what are beliefs and we became aware of ourselves, others, and how we create these beliefs around in our life. And along with beliefs, we also understood that we create decisions. And we did a small meditation right at the end because love is the only thing. And giving yourself permission to be loved is a very big thing. It's not that love nahi hai bahar. We are scared of love. We are not scared of being shouted at. Some way we become used to, oh, teacher to thappad lagaegi, mom to chillaegi. But we have closed the gates of love very early in our life. And we have told ourselves we don't deserve it. You, I, and everyone deserves to open the gates, the floodgates of love, and allow ourselves to feel loved. क्या होगा? You'll get hurt again. The hurt is not because of what's happening outside. The hurt is happening because of the expectations that you have inside. Expectations change करते जाएंगे और प्यार gather करते जाएंगे. Done deal? आसान नहीं है मेरे भाई. So we'll keep the conversation going on this topic, and you can click on explore and find other interesting topics to go with. On Friday, I will be getting your best friend Aarti Desai with the pet talk. So be there with us on Friday in the afternoon at 1 o'clock again. And please check your mail, and you will be getting a feedback form. Please fill that up. Share your experience of today's class. Hashtag get set up, @get set up on social media platforms. And if you feel you have a story to tell us, please do share Get Set Up story at social @getsetup.io. You can host an interest group by going on help@getsetup.io. If you feel you have something to contribute and you have some talent, please connect with help@getsetup.io and tell them, I want to host an interest group. I want to be an ambassador. And you never know whose life changes from there. So it's a wonderful platform. And as you have experienced on this Get Set Up, we are doing lifelong learning. And I, Anu Mehta, am your guide today. And I will be signing out soon. And we have Agam. I really want to acknowledge him. He's such an amazing TA who sits behind, has a smile on his face, and really makes my day go around in the most beautiful manner. कभी कभी किसी को कुछ नहीं करना पड़ता, बस welcome अच्छे से करना पड़ता है. And he is a champ at it. Brilliant. And I want to acknowledge each and every one of you on this platform. क्योंकि आप नहीं तो मैं बातें किससे करूंगी? आप नहीं तो मैं बातें किससे करूंगी? आपसे बातें करते करते मेरी जिंदगी हर रोज थोड़ी थोड़ी बदलती है. और लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग सिर्फ आपके लिए नहीं, मेरे लिए भी होती है. तो बहुत शुक्रिया मेरी अंधेरी रातों में दिया जगाने के लिए. बहुत शुक्रिया for being the candle in my light and for being the lamp in everyone's life. Thank you so much, and see you again on Friday at the same time, 1 o'clock. Love you all. Stay
Thank you,
happy.
ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
ma'am.
Bye.
Thank
bye.
you.
Thanks a
Bye.
lot, everyone.
शुक्रिया अच्छी अच्छी बातों का.
बहुत शुक्रिया.
बड़ी मेहरबानी
मेरी
हुजूर आप मेरी जिंदगी में आए.
शाबाश, मजा आ गया. एक बार फिर से. कौन था ये? हमने सामने नहीं
Sunita,
लाया.
ma'am.
सुनीता जी,
Missed it.
ऐसे नहीं. एक बार.
बहुत शुक्रिया बड़ी मेहरबानी हुजूर आप मेरी जिंदगी में आए. कदम चूम लूं या आंखें बिछा दूं, बस आगे नहीं आते मेरी
अच्छा बोल दिया, बस. बहुत अच्छा है. चलिए जी, see you guys. Love you.
बाय. थैंक यू सो मच. बाय.